Yeah. Yo, what's up? What's up? What up? What up? Can you hear me? Am I heard? There you go. Everything should be up and running. Just fixing some shit up. Alright. Getting ready to backtest. Gonna do a 50k count. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna name live stream backtest. We're gonna do M&Q and MES. We are going to start in January of 2025 on Monday here. Can I set up a time? Yes, I can. Let's do Monday at 5 a.m. And the end date is going to be December. Let's do this week, Friday. At 11. I doubt we get there, but yo, what's up, what's up? Welcome. Just barely making the session. Try to get some more people in here. I need to change the title. But I low-key don't even know how. Are you going to backtest? Yes, I am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Going to backtest, just about to create the session. Just about to create the session here. Let's create it. Let's fucking go. Always fucking hyped to backtest. I can't find your Discord link. I'll send it in a bit, brother. Let me go ahead and send it. My shit's bugging, bro. I don't know what's going on. I made some changes that I low-key hated. Shot myself in the foot and shit. Let me see. Let me send you the link first for the Discord. There it is. Can you please backtest gold? Nah, brother, I can't. I don't trade gold. I only trade Nasdaq. Nasdaq is what I've been trading for the past year, what I've been backtesting for the past 2 years. And I don't plan on changing, TBH. I'm sticking to my NQ. Let's see. Let me put a shirt on. I want to see him A little bit professional. Just this shirt, whatever. My trusty cap. What strategies? CRT? Nah, nah, nah. We're doing the unicorn. Um, Merry Christmas, brother. Welcome. I went off for vacation. I DC'd for a couple of days, about a week total, about a week and a half. I much needed the break from the charts. I'm still not gonna trade this year. I'm waiting till next year, to January, to start fresh. I have my funded account ready to go, untouched, balance zero. There's a discount right now going on Apex, bro. Uh, might look to cop some accounts. Not gonna lie, because bro, it's too enticing. 90% right now. They're $20. Apex Trade. I couldn't find the website. They're $20 and yep, 90% right now. It says all evals only 19. Blah blah blah. They raised their activation fees though. They were $60. Now they're 84. So in total, it's like $100 all in if you pass them. Backtest and teach me your strategy, please. That's what we are going to do, brother. That's what we are going to do. I'm just trying to get a couple more people in here. I will be backtesting the unicorn strategy. Let me see. What's your win rate? We're about to find out. I mean, forward testing, I started actually forward testing the strategy probably in November, which is when the Instagram started to pop off. So I'm fairly new to this strategy. But in backtested win rates, probably dangling between a 60% win rate, if I'm being real. But that's what I'm trying to find out because I want to do a proper backtest here on stream, like a proper. So we're truly gonna find if this strategy is viable, if my win rate is correct. So take what I said with a grain of salt. We're about to find out. Let me do this. Yep, we're doing the top-down analysis. We're doing the whole. I'm gonna do before I start backtesting. I'm gonna write down the whole checklist, the whole strategy checklist. So if y'all have like your Google, like a Word document, a pen and paper that y'all want to write down, because I'm gonna fucking drop some sauce, brother. I'm gonna drop everything. And to finish off, let me just do this. I'm just about done here, boys. About to start the stream. I'm excited, brother. Where are you from? I'm from Mexico, brother. I grew up in the United States, but eventually I moved to Mexico. Join the stream at watching from Paris. From Paris. I love France, bro. I started to learn to speak French very, very thoroughly. Je parle français. Fuck, don't quote me on that. Drop the sauce, brother. We are waiting. Patience, brother. Patience. What I try to enforce here in the channel, here that you're in a rush, you want it fast, you want the information fast, brother. What I try to enforce in the channel, bro, besides the strategy, is discipline and patience in the charts. You want everything super fast, bro. What's wrong with waiting a little bit? You get more value off that. But whatever. All right, I digress. Let's go ahead and begin. I'm gonna make this on the docs, or should I make it on the sheets document? Probably make it on the sheets document. I'm gonna get my. Yep. I'm gonna get my journal, and then inside of my journal, I need to make sure y'all can see this. Let me make sure. Yep, y'all can see this properly. Y'all could follow along. Any giveaway today? Probably not today, but when I come back on like actually streaming, I will do some giveaways for sure, for sure. All right, y'all can follow along. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna name this Unicorn Strategy Checklist. Yo, 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 we're fucking live. Join up. Join on YouTube. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna start with. Let's start with the risk management part, which I think is most important. Yep, risk management. So we're gonna do unfunded first. All right, on the funded, what I'm evaluating on doing, if the plan is to have multiple funded accounts, is to have a 10 trade threshold. What do I mean by that? If the risk for the evals is $2,000, or on Apex it's 2,500, 2,500, um you want to have a 10 trade threshold. So in this case, I want to risk 250 per trade and aim for at least a 1.8 RR. So how can I yeah, so it's this times 1.8. So for about a 450 gain right here. This is on the funded. Ideally, we want to aim for 500 USD, but at least we're gonna aim for 450 gain on the account. So we're gonna be risking 250 per trades, giving us a 10 trade threshold. John, I'm doing a live right now on YouTube where I'm doing a top down on the strategy, starting with the checklist. I'm starting with the risk management plan. Um, Once the trade is over 50%, fib, we're going to do break even. That's another thing I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna die on that hill. I'm gonna keep on moving my stop loss to break even because we're chasing A plus unicorn setups. And when A plus unicorn setups happen, you see efficient delivery towards opposing liquidity. You'll see what I mean right now when we backtest. But efficient unicorns always deliver without retracing. So if price is already hesitating, it's already weak, and it's already retracement, I want none of that, brother. I'd rather get out on break even, and I'm gonna keep dying on that hill. But at the end of the day, this is what the backtest is for, right? Is it actually worth it for me to move to break even? Is it not worth it to move to break even? This is what the backtest is for, and I will try to recoup all of that data. FX Replay, which is where I backtest, has an amazing software, journaling software, which we're gonna use. So yeah, over 50%. We're gonna move to break even. What else am I missing for for the risk management side? Uh, I'm debating if I should do one trade per day or stick with my if win done for day. If L or BE, then we're going to max 2 trades. That's for the risk management side. What else am I missing? I'm strictly gonna um do this unfunded, like in a funded scenario, because I'm funded right now, and this is what I want to follow in January when the new year starts, right? I'm not gonna do it for the evals. With the evals, I hate evals, bro. Like, get them out the way as soon as possible, pass them as soon as possible, find a good trade setup, and size up. All right. So, like I said, I'm doing this for the funded, but you can apply these same parameters to an eval, right? Or double the risk, 500 for risk to make around 950, $900. All right. So this is the risk management. I think that's that. Let's move on to the strategy checklist. All right. So for the unicorn, we obviously need a breaker bot. Unicorn, let's see. We need a, let's see, breaker block or mitigation block. We need this. Need. We need. I'm gonna write down some things I want to be strict on. Have you gotten a payout yet? Yes, I have, sir. I've gotten multiple payouts this year, thankfully. But all right, I need a breaker block or mitigation block. It's a must. I need a breakaway gap with a market structure shift on both assets. Need. I need to align with bias is going to be a need from now on. Uh, align with bias. I need the breaker blocker mitigation, which is standard. Market structure shift on both assets. Align with bias. Uh, I need it to be macro time. Macro time. Need. I need. What else do I need? Macro time. Breaker blocker mitigation. I need a bag. Limit entry on bag tap. That's a need. Stop loss below protected low. No, stop loss in protected high or low is a need. And TP in liquidity for at least 1.8. What the hell just happened? 1.8 RR. If y'all have any questions about the checklist, about what the fuck I'm doing, please air them out. If y'all don't mind, but I'm just gonna keep rambling, all right? Need. These are all the needs. What else? I don't need optional SMT. Um, what else? I mean, there's other confluences I use. Higher time. I mean, forever model type beat, which is a higher time frame PD array. So it's at least a 1.8. Sometimes you have a spread where you're targeting the opposing liquidity pool, and sometimes it's not going to give you the exact 2 to 1, right? It might give you like a 1.5, 1.6. So you might want to adjust your stop loss instead of adjusting your take profit to try to reach that 2 to 1, right? You can't force it all the time, but I'm going to aim for a 2 to 1, right? But if I have an area where the opposing liquidity pool or where my take profit is going to be like a 1.7, I'd rather scooch the stop loss, maybe make it a little bit more tighter to adjust that TP and try to aim for at least an 1.8. All right. And sometimes what I will be doing is probably closing the position early. Once we're like over in profits, when I see signs of weakness or anything, I'm probably gonna do manual closes because I've gotten way too many trades where we're so close to TP and it retraces. But we're gonna I'm gonna add this here. Manual close question mark. Still debating on that. So that's the strategy checklist, higher time for PD array. We also have other confluences that I like to use, which is CRT, which is optional. Um, and I mean, I obviously check for IFVGs as well, which are optional. I mean, any other like positive confluence you could stack towards your bias, towards the direction of where price is going, and when you stack it with the unicorn is super powerful, right? So I mean, I usually have like these four top of my head, but I don't really have them like in a checklist because I'm not really tracking these. I'm tracking these, right? These are the ones I'm tracking. But these are something I have more can you trade with a fresh account for 2026? Yes, I have a funded account actually that I'm going to trade 2026. A fresh 50K funded account. It's on zero balance. I'm holding off to use it, but come January 7th, I'm gonna start trading that. All right. So this is basically the whole strategy right here. This is the whole strategy breakdown. The risk management. This is the risk management we're going to follow. Okay. And this is the strategy checklist we are going to follow with these needs in mind. So we're looking for very specific trades. This is what we need for us to enter a trade, right? And if I know this works, all I have to be and all I have to do is be patient and wait for good setups, journal my trades, log the data, follow the risk management plan. All right. So I'm going to start with the back test without further ado, but I do have this checklist right here. If y'all want to take a picture, a screenshot on January, which day you come live, probably checking the calendar right now. Probably the 6th of January, I'll come live. Probably the 5th, I'll see. But between the 5th or the 6th of January, I'll come back on live, which is the second week of January. The 5th or the 6th, I'll be back. So right now it's the 27th, so it's basically like this week's gonna happen, right? Monday, that week, Monday. Then the next week is where I start. I'm gonna leave to the beach on Monday actually, and I'm gonna come back hella refreshed. Just letting y'all know. I know I've been MIA, but I'm enjoying time with the family and shit. All right, all right. stop with the yap and let's fucking start with the fucking backtest, bro. Let's start with the backtest. I'm gonna start recording. I'm gonna record this. Let me make sure everything's up and running. All right, let me just start recording. And I am going to be super slow and thorough with what I'm doing. If y'all have any questions, please let me know. All right, let's just fucking begin, bro. I'm gonna go on the 15 minute. Let's go on the 15 minute. And we're trying to go here towards market open. 9:30 candle. There it is. Let's go down to the 5 minute. 9:40 candle, just perfect right there, just before the macro starts. All right. So to start with the daily bias, how I do my daily bias is based on imbalances, right? So in this case, I check 5 different time frames. It's the daily. I check the 4 hour. I check the 1 hour. I check the 15 minute, and I check the 5 minute time frames to establish my bias, right? Starting with the daily, I do it based off imbalances. What do I mean by that? Is here price on the daily time frame is trading inside of a daily bearish fair value gap, right? You can see here price came down, tapped into OTE of this fair value gap and displaced lower, shifted lower. Price is coming back. So what we have here, what we're seeing here is we have a higher high, then we have a lower low, higher low, lower low, higher low, lower low, higher. So this is like the start of a bearish downtrend. So the thought process here is to establish the bias for the day, we do it based off imbalances. So right now we're trading inside of a bearish imbalances. So just with that information, the daily is bearish. Okay? Just with that, that gives me an idea that the daily is going to be bearish. Or to give me an idea, right? Now I flip to the 4 hour and same deal. Trading inside of a 4 hour bearish FEG without looking any further. With this, I'm going to say that the 4 hour for me is bearish because we're trading inside of a bearish imbalance. And I assume naively that the imbalance is going to get respected, right? I'm going to assume naively. Let me get the path here. That price is going to trade inside of this imbalance, probably do like a forever model type sweep where it's used with SMT, and then we see the displacement taps into the unicorn and continues lower, right? So on the 4 hour, same thing, bearish. On the 1 hour, bearish. Look at this big ass gap. So just with this, with process of elimination, already since bearish on the higher time frame is already set in stone, I'm not even going to do the 15 minute or the 5 minute because I already know 3 of the 5 is bearish, so 60% is bearish. So I'm just going to be bearish for the day. What does that mean? I'm going to be looking for shorts, right? So now I get switch on to the 15 minute. So with that in mind, we're bearish for the first macro because we established a bias in every macro. So now in the 15-minute time frame and looking at both assets, what I'm going to do is mark out the kill zones. All right. What are the kill zones? Is the previous trading sessions highs and lows. Okay. So let's see. Let's go down here and well, I'll say that right now. This is 2 a.m. This is London open, so this for me would be London low. And I'm going to say I'm not an expert at reading the charts yet. I'm not some type of guru. I'm not a market maker. I don't have the insider information. I can make mistakes. Sometimes I do forget shit. So if y'all see anything, please point it out. And yeah, because like I said, like I'm trying to um, build further conviction towards the strategy, and I'm still in that learning process, and I'm bringing y'all with me, right? So whatever. So this is London low for me. 2 a.m. is London low, and I like these equal lows right here. And I'm gonna put it right here. We're just gonna say this is external. Next. Just probably a better color to choose because you can't see it. There you go. Just about. And now with that in mind, since I'm bearish targeting lows, um I'm gonna copy the London low and I'm gonna paste it on ES as well. So right here on ES, I'm looking for the same low and I'm pasting it. London session and Asia session time. Look, I'm gonna give you all a website which is called ictindex.io. Let me send it to you. Give me a second. Asia and London session times. Let's get the precise information. While that loads, let's keep going. Yeah. So these same lows, I marked them out on ES as well. So I just copy and paste. And I like to do that on the 15-minute time frame. Just these lows right here. And now with our charts marked out, we can go ahead and let it play out. We can start the macro. I'm gonna go the 5 second probably here. This is the macro just starting. So I'm gonna check. We have a beautiful. So right here we have a unicorn towards the inverse, but I probably don't want to trade that. Let's go ahead and play this. Checking all the time frames. Watching ES closely as well. What I like to do if I'm bearish, I like to mark out all of the bullish order blocks. So we have a nice order block right there. And what I want to see is an inverse of any of these order blocks. So the macro did just start. It's just about 9:48. Price seems to be respecting bullish period raise. We want to see a breaker block form. Checking the 3 minute, checking the 5 minute. There's a 5 minute order block right here, which is probably going to be the strongest one, but we can maybe catch an early entry here. Right here we're waiting. Still macro time. Watching both assets, marking out order blocks on both assets, waiting for a shift. So for now we're waiting. So probably this OB down here is going to be the strongest one. But we want to see price reverse and fail within the macro. So it's 9:54 at the moment. We're going to get a new 5 minute candle. Let's see if we get some type of shift. here inside of the 4 hour and daily bearish fair value gap. Please tell me session times and how to mark. Right here it says Tokyo session opens at 8 p.m. New York time, right? So now you know that 8 p.m. New York time is where you're gonna mark out your Asia high and low, and London starts at 2 a.m. So 2 a.m. and 8 p.m. What's up? What's up? Emmy, what's up? All right, let's keep going. Watching both assets, waiting for a proper shift. We do have another OB right here. We're still respecting bullish PD arrays. Watching both assets, still nothing for me. We did, however, have a shift off this breaker, so maybe I do want to see a shift below this. Still waiting though. Price seems to want to continue bullish. It's 10 a.m. New hour. We get a nice wick here. Let's see what price wants to do. Price is unpredictable. We have to be reactive. Price does whatever the fuck it wants to do. So it's 10 a.m. right now. 10:02 a.m. to be precise. And we're still waiting. Still waiting for a unicorn to present. I'm not gonna enter on no nonsense, no bullshit. We wait for the setup. So if you join my streams on live markets, this is me most of the time just fucking watching and waiting. Because most of the times there really isn't anything, right? Most of the times you find yourself here in the chop, but you want to catch the movements. What's up, bro? Santo, I got a 10K plus payout. Damn, on my birthday, the 22nd. Happy birthday, brother. Thanks for helping, bro. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. You know it. You're a firm believer in the unicorn, and I know it. 10K payout is nothing light, brother. That is fucking crazy. Congrats. So for now, we're just waiting. We have chop in the first macro, which is fine. We trade the first three macros. Oh wait, we're starting to get a shift. We're starting to get a nice and proper shift. Not on both assets though. Yep, we're waiting. This could very well be a manipulation to continue higher. Unicorn timing. The unicorn could happen in the 3 minute, the 5 minute, the 1 minute, the 15 minute. Price is fractal, bro. The unicorn could happen in any time frame. But we're trying to catch it in the lower time frames. 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute is what I'm looking at. But here, still no trade. No nothing. So that's the first macro done with. I'm gonna go ahead and pause this and I'm gonna skip over to the next macro, which is 10:45. Right there, just about. Let's go back to the 5 second. And just looking at price here, we're still trading inside of the 4 hour bearish, 1 hour. We're still bearish. So there's no need to redo. I'm still looking for shorts, all right? So, which is perfect. We're higher up in the range. So we've manipulated towards these highs. Trying to check if there's SMT anywhere. But we're higher up within the range, which is better for us. Maybe we want to see a final sweep of this buy side with an SMT and then the displacement lower. So we do have a beautiful 5-minute bearish order block right here. We did have a sweep right here with SMT. ES has not swept this high. And we want to see a displacement lower. We do have a 1-minute order block right here. So we're waiting for any type of displacement towards the sell side. Love from India, yes sir. A lot of love from India. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're waiting for the shift. So patience. Patience is the name of the game. Waiting for the unicorn to pop out. It has to be painfully obvious. So right here we're starting to get that shift. We do have SMT here at the highs. We are bearish on the higher time frame, so I'm waiting for any sign that we want to reverse. Any sign. So right here, no sign for reversal, so we just wait. Still respecting bullish period raise, making higher highs, higher lows. We're leaving a lot of wicks towards the buy side. We do have a bullish bias in the higher time frame, so we're expecting a lower time frame shift. It is a Monday, it is the start of the year. We could expect low volume, low volatility, so what do? We wait. We wait for the setup. If we have no trade today, we wait for the next day. If y'all can't have the patience to wait, then you can't trade. You need to wait. The less you do in trading, the better. So it's still macro time. It's 10:59 a.m. We're waiting for a shift on any of our marked out order blocks. Still no unicorn presented here. Towards our bias, we do have bullish unicorns. However, we're looking for shorts. We are looking for shorts. So we're starting the shift, looking at both assets, just waking. What's up? What's up? Explain me a valid or invalid order block for sure, brother. Give me a second. Waiting up, waiting up. So there's a lot of fuzz around order blocks, around how people mark them. A lot of people do it differently. It's basically just support and resistance type beat. What I like to do with order blocks is the last bearish candle, for example, in a bullish example, the last bearish candle engulfed by a bullish candle is an order block. So in this case, the macro's just about to finish here. We're still kind of chopping our way to the top. still no shift. It is still macro, however. Give me a second. Can you give me some capital? Nah, brother. I can't do that. So we're waiting. Still macro time, 11:09. We give we give ourselves until 11:15 to look for a trade. So we're still here just waiting. We haven't clicked the button. There was nothing to trade here, just chop. If I would have entered any trade, I would have probably gotten chopped out. Anybody who traded on this day probably got chopped out. So for now, we're waiting. We do have this breaker block that wants to form maybe. We're still respecting bullish. FVG with O order block form is valid, yeah, for sure. I mean, the FVG doesn't really matter. I feel like it only makes it a higher probability order block. All right, we're starting to get a shift, not on both assets though. And the macro's over. All right, look, let me explain the order block. So this, let's see, let's get a stronger order block. Look, this is a very strong order block right here. So look at this bearish candle, right? And then the next candle's body closes above the body of the bearish candle. Forget the wicks. But look at how this is a bullish order block. This is what I mark out as an order block. And you want to mark out like the whole wick and body. I do the body for simplicity because sometimes the wicks get too out of hand. But you could see here price comes and taps on the order block, sweeping all these equal lows and then pushing higher. So this is a very strong bullish order block right here. This on the 5 minute. And same thing here. Before sweeping this high right here, we could see a bullish order block gets put in right here. So we have the bearish body, and then we have this bullish body close above the bearish. What do you prefer, mark body with wick? I only do the body for simplicity, but because I don't really trade order block taps. I trade order block reversals. So what I'm trying, so right here, same thing. This order block got respected until it swept the liquidity right here. So this bullish order block gets put in, the body closes above this bearish body, and it continues to push higher, sweeping that high. But what I'm looking for the unicorn is for price to disrespect the order block, to sweep with a shift on this order block. So I just marked them out like this just to have them marked out, just to give me an idea of where they are. But I'm not really looking for an order block entry, right? I'm looking for an order block inverse, a reversal of the order block. And that's what you call either a breaker block or a mitigation block. And that's a sign, that's where market structure shifts, right? So if price would close below the order block, I would consider that a market structure shift right here, just below this. You want to see price close with a body, with a breakaway gap, making this a breaker block. And when you pair a breaker block with a breakaway gap, price comes and taps a fair value gap inside of the breaker. That's a very high probability unicorn. And we probably will target or this next order block or this low or this body low, you know, depending on where we are in the range. There is no breaker structure, brother. I mean, this is just a fake example I'm giving you, right? But this is a bullish order block in this case. So this could be considered a bullish order block to get respected. We had this bullish order block get respected. Um, we had this bullish order block get respected right here. Look, we had this bullish order block get respected to the tick perfectly after having a major push off. So I'm just gonna continue. So we have one more macro remaining to look for shorts. Let's see if we get it. Let me go ahead and fast forward to 11, just about there. We have this 5-minute order block that has already been tapped multiple times, showing a sign of weakness. When an order block gets tapped a lot of times, it shows weakness. It shows that maybe it is more likely that it wants to inverse. If it taps one and displaces, that's perfect. But if it taps multiple times without displacing, that's a sign that maybe price wants to break through. Remember, price is fucking unpredictable, bro. Price can do whatever the fuck it wants to do. Price is doesn't care about IFVGs. Price does not care about order blocks. Price does not care about fucking nothing, bro. Like we just mark these out to give ourselves conviction and give ourselves a probability, an idea of how market moves. But it doesn't necessarily mean that because you have an order block marked out, a high probability order block, it doesn't mean it's gonna respect it, because fucking Jeff Bezos could come in and make a sell order and fucking tank the market, and your order block, your high probability order block, is cooked because price does not give a shit about that. How to mark out correct liquidity, brother? Equal highs, equal lows, previous day highs, fair value gaps, any type of PD array, new week opening gap, new day opening gap, um, kill zones. There's a lot of liquidity zones you can mark out. I linked the website ICT Index. You could ask the question, which are valid liquidity zones, and it's going to give you a straight answer with video examples. But I'm not going to go too in depth into that because, well, it's something I have very clear myself, but I could explain it thoroughly. How do you find stocks to trade for? Nah, I trade the Nasdaq. I trade an index, bro. I trade a whole accumulation of stocks, not just one singular stock. All right, so last macro. Let's go ahead and press play. Down to the 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute. Probably do want to see a shift in the 5 minute. Is what I would be more inclined. A shift towards these lows here. Watching very closely. We are getting a shift on both assets. Looking at the 5 minute. What's up, my boy Ramses? What up, brother? How you doing? All right, let me pause here for a bit. Let me review what we have here. Nothing really yet. Nothing that really. We are shifting lower, but nothing painfully obvious. We did have this gap right here that got respected, but still nothing that jumps the eye, right? So if we're not too confident, if we're not too like, this is kind of trash, I'm not gonna trade trash. I'm still waiting for a shift, maybe in the 5 minute is where I would be more inclined, because we are kind of chopping here, right? We chopped in the first macro, which was here. We chopped in the second macro. We're kind of just ranging within here. We want to see a break, a good distribution lower. If we're not going to get a good distribution, I don't want to participate, right? So like I said, I'm gonna be very slow and very thorough because I want to be very precise with this backtesting because I actually want real pure data of this strategy. So yeah, bros. Trading requires a lot of patience, bro. A lot of discipline, a lot of alignment, a lot of waiting. We want everything so fast. We want to make money so fast, bro. But the fast route is the slowest route you could go. And the slow route is the fastest route you could go. Alright. Waiting, still waiting for a proper shift to the downside. Nothing painfully obvious. I would rather see a 5 minute break. Um, like I said, because look right here, there's a unicorn. But do I really want to trade this? Do I want to trade this short where we're chopping? There is a unicorn right here, but we still don't have like a higher time frame shift. Like this could just very well be a manipulation to continue higher. I want that confirmation. I want that shift on the 5 minute, which I feel is the strongest draw on liquidity right now. So this unicorn could very well get respected and could very well trade down, but nothing painfully obvious, right? You like the unicorn should be so obvious that you don't miss out. It should be something you say like this is it. Like this is there's no second guessing, right? So still waiting, still in the macro time. Like I said, I do want to see. There you go. We're getting the 5 minute shift. Okay, we're getting a better shift here on the 1 minute. We are getting a unicorn. We're getting a shift on both assets. So I'm watching very carefully. We could get an entry here. We want to see a close with a breakaway gap. We're waiting. We're waiting. Waiting. Is it gonna leave a gap? Is it not gonna leave a gap? And it did leave a gap. So this is already the unicorn. I'm gonna give this a try, alright? My stop loss, my entry is going to be right here on the top. My stop loss is going to be above this high. And I will be targeting at least a 2 to 1. So just about right here. Probably gonna scooch it a little bit closer to 1.9 around right there. So this is what I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a try. Um, we do have a unicorn here. We have a bullish order block that gets inversed, making it a breaker block. We had a 5 minute shift in market structure. Um, we have a shift on both assets. I mean, it's the unicorn. This is a try. We're inside the macro. So what I'm gonna do here is place the order. Uh, I'm going to risk 250. It's tweaking. Wait, why doesn't it let me? 250. God, this shit is bugging, bro, and it's bugging me. There, 251. All right. I'm just gonna do position size 6 contracts. We're gonna save and journal it. All right. Checklist. Confidence level 100%. I'm gonna say it's 4-star because we have a lot of chop. Let me go ahead and fix this so I can take a better screenshot. But we do have a unicorn right there. Screenshot. that bitch. That's the trade journal. We save it. And let's see how this plays out. We got tapped there. And let's see if price wants to respect the unicorn. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and we move on. If it does, it does. Looking to adjust my stop loss once we sweep this low, which is more than 50%. Don't want to see this high get taken because that would invalidate our trade. It would invalidate the unicorn. We want to see this high get respected. Still inside the macro. We're waiting. We're probably going to get stopped out here. Or not. We let it play out. We're gracefully watching. We got a nice edge of our stop loss. Let's see if price could shift lower. The charts are in my YouTube, brother. We're backtesting right now. We're actually in the trade right now. So we wait and we hold. Getting a nice displacement. We want to see a sweep of this low. Is this 50% of the range? Not quite, just about. So I might move my stop loss to break even once we sweep this low. Because we're not getting an efficient delivery towards the sell side, and we want to see an efficient delivery towards the sell side. So right there, I'm gonna move it just above this high right here. We want to see that fair value gap get respected. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We get topped out. We get tapped out. But we are going to follow our risk management plan. We want to see efficient delivery towards the sell side. Price shouldn't come back to our entry in an efficient unicorn. It should go straight to TP. So we're delivering efficiently. We get another gap here, so I'm gonna move my stop loss and profits. Now we want to see our TP get taken. Might be ready to manual close the trade. But this is the unicorn. Efficient unicorn, efficient delivery. You don't want to get the chop. You want to get a big movement, big continuation. You don't want to get a chop. Our stop loss and profits, you usually do not want to see this on the unicorn. We're still going to let it breathe. We're going to let it play out. But you efficient unicorns deliver efficiently. But right here, we waited until the last macro and we took a good trade. Good risk management. We're up in profits. We're close to our exit, and we're holding it. We're still giving it breathing room. If we get stopped out, we get stopped out. It was a good try, good attempt. I love risk-free trades, but I do want to see price come and take our TP. Let's see what happens. And right there, we got fucking edged. I'm gonna close right there. Let's just wait. Still delivering lower. Our TP got edged, which has been a theme with this channel. And I do not like that. But this is basically the unicorn, bros. I mean, do y'all have any questions? Right there, TP. TP hits first trade. We get a win. So here on Monday, the unicorn works. We got edged on our stop loss, but that means our protected stop loss was correct above this high right here, giving us a perfect 1.9 risk reward. Just about the 2 to 1. What if the 2 to 1? It would have given me the 2 to 1. But just like that, bros. One trade, one win. We're up $400 on the account. So the idea is to trade 10 accounts, 5 accounts, 15, 20 accounts. So times that times 10, times that times 5, times 20. The capital doesn't matter, bro. But if it works, if an efficient 2 to 1 with good risk management, with a good strategy, with a good checklist, with a good, if you could repeat this multiple times, you're gonna make a lot of bread. But do you have the patience to wait? I waited here until 12 p.m., right? The last macro. Do you have the patience to wait towards the last macro? Most of the time, we've already blown our accounts or we've already blown our bullets for the day before the last macros. View on Solana, I don't trade cryptos, brothers, unless it's Bitcoin. Do you all have any questions on this trade? Any questions? No questions. I'm just gonna move on to the next day. Let me just leave it there. I'm still gonna delete it. No questions. All right, we're just gonna move on. See what happens. All right, just in time for the macro. So we're on Tuesday now, and we do the same. What macro timings do you use? So I look to trade inside of the first 3 macros after New York Open. So the first macro after New York Open is I use the 15-minute candles. All right, I do 9:45 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. So that's the first macro. I give myself that 30-minute window to look for trades, and then I go to the next macro. If there's no trade in the first macro, I wait for the second macro, which the second macro is 10:45 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. And then the last macro is 11:45 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. Let me write them down here. Macros. So what is the theory behind the macros? Is that price tends to deliver towards liquidity inside of the macros, and usually we consolidate in between them. But whenever we get a new hour open, a new hourly candle open, if you know the power of 3, what are we going to get? in a new hourly candle open. We're gonna get a manipulation, we're gonna get a distribution, and we're gonna get consolidation, right? So we want to catch the manipulation of the new hourly candle open. So when it makes the top wick, we want to catch all the delivery down in within the first minutes of the macro or before the start of the macro. You want to catch the top wick. If you're bearish, you want to catch the top wick and you already want to see it displacing lower, right? Thinking of power of three. So that's the theory behind macro times, and they're highly efficient with any trading strategy. If you trade IFVG, FVG tab, support and resistance, whatever, bro. If you do not align time with price, you're trading blind. All right. That's why a lot of people like to trade the silver bullet. What's the silver bullet? It's the time frame between, well, I count the macros, but people don't count the macros. They just count the silver bullet times, which is 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. They count that as the silver bullet. So they're looking for trades between 10 and 11, which is perfect because you're trying to align time with price. And if you don't have a time idea, or if you're not strict within what times you trade, if you don't trade at the same times, within your strategy, you're going to get variable results. You're going to get different random results. You need to pick a time and stick with it and always trade the first hour of New York Open, the second hour, the third hour. Pick one and stick to it. Don't fucking alter between time frames and strategies, and like just stick to one thing and backtest it. Don't flip shit around, 11:15, and then we have 11:45 to 12:15. Yes, I am backtesting. We've so far we've traded only one day. We taken one trade and we won that trade towards that unicorn. So these are the macro times. Write them down. Oops. Yeah, that's correct. Write them down. Um, I've already linked the website ictindex.io. I'm gonna link it again. If you have any questions regarding ICT that you wanna review by yourself, use this website. It's going to link you to YouTube videos. It's going to give you all the answers that you need. What is a macro time? Type it in that chat bot and it's going to tell you what the macro time is. I'm not sponsored by it. I used it to understand all these concepts. I've put the hour behind learning, right? Because you need to put time. There's no fast route. You need to learn the theory, you need to back test, and you need to forward test. So it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, bro. You need to do everything if you really want this shit. But I digress. All right. These are the macro times. Write them down. These are the times where I'm looking to look for trades, where I'm looking to look for the unicorns specifically. And we start with our top down analysis, which is on the daily, 4 hour to establish our daily bias, 1 hour, 15 minute, and 5 minute. So we start with the daily. You could see here, this is the previous day which we traded. You can see here that the bearish got respected, right? And here we're trading again inside of that bearish. So on the daily, we're still going to be bearish. We type it, bearish. Now we go to the 4 hour. In the 4 hour, have we inversed this imbalance? We have not. We're still trading inside of this imbalance, which is perfect. So we're bearish on the 4 hour. Makes our life easier. So if y'all know what the weekly profile is as well. So right here we have a daily or a weekly opening gap right here. You can see a big gap right here. This is a strong liquidity pool. And if we're thinking about the weekly profile, which is also something that y'all could look over in ICTindex.io, I can make mistakes. I don't have it perfected, but it's just ideas and conviction that I've built throughout my time with the charts, right? So if we're thinking about the weekly profile, is on the daily, we had this candle, bullish candle, leaving an opening gap right here. This is a strong liquidity pool. So if we're thinking of a weekly power of 3, this could very well be the manipulation candle, right? If we're thinking of a weekly candle, how does a weekly candle look like? There's two um wicks at the top and the bottom, and there's a body, right? So right now, the weekly candle just opened bullish, leaving an opening gap right here. So if I could predict what this weekly candle will look like, is I would think it would look bearish, right? Trading inside of a daily bearish FEG, I want to see this opening gap get inversed or get tapped or get something. But right now we still don't tap it. It's still untouched. So it's just like I said, adding that conviction towards trading. What broker do you use? I use prop firms, bro. I trade. Well, I don't trade on Top Step anymore because they're shady as fuck. Right now, I'm trading on Apex, which I'm sponsored by them, but I trade them. Um, I have never gotten a payout from Apex. I barely got funded on Apex. I have a fresh account, so I've heard a lot of fuzz that they don't pay out, that they have issues. So I'm trying to find that out. But I am sponsored. They do have a 90% discount right now, which is fucking nice. I do plan on buying some accounts, and if you want to buy accounts with Apex and take advantage of the discount and support me at the same time, 90% off evals right there. All evals only 90%. 1 day to pass. You could pass them in 1 day. No consistency rule and evaluation. So if you're looking to full port some accounts, if you could stack up to 20 accounts with Apex. Like I said, I've never gotten a payout. I've heard good and bad things about Apex, but I'm trying to figure that out by myself. And if y'all use code MISC on checkout, y'all would help me out tremendously. Y'all don't have to do it. I make no money off this live stream. I make no money off my socials. Like Apex contacted me, they sponsored me, they have given me accounts to give away, so I'm gonna rep them. And like I said, I wanna try them out myself because I'm not a sheep and I don't follow what other people say. I like to dip my feet into the water and figure it out myself. So, let's see. This is the link for Apex. Make sure you buy the Trade08 account so you can trade with TradingView and code MISC on checkout. They have a 90% sale right now. 90%. They're $20 for evals, bro. But yeah, let's keep going with the back test. All right. So 4 hour were bearish. We were talking about that. The 1 hour. Let's look at the 1 hour. Beautiful. So we're trading inside of this big 1 hour bearish fair value gap inside of another bearish fair value gap. So on the 1 hour, I am bearish as well. So there's no need for me to do the 15-minute or the 5-minute because by process of elimination, or not elimination, sorry, by process of like statistics, more than 50% is bearish. So I'm gonna be bearish. No need to do the 15-minute or the 5-minute. Even if the 15-minute or the 5-minute were bullish, I'm still gonna look for shorts bearish. All right. So now we could zoom in towards the 5-minute. We do here just watching it. Let me look at after we establish our bias. Let me not get sidetracked because I was gonna get like I was gonna jump steps. After we do the daily bias, all right, I'm bearish for the macro. Now I hop into the 15-minute time frame, which you can see right here. I go on 15-minute and I mark out the kill zones or any liquidity pool. So right here we have Asia low right here, aligned with midnight, aligned with these equal lows right here, right? There's another low right here. There's multiple lows right here, aligned with these equal lows. This is a strong drawn liquidity right here. So we're gonna mark this out as Asia, and we're gonna scooch to 2 a.m. This is the 2 a.m. low right here. The London opens right here. We still don't tap it. This is London. So these are our two draws on liquidity for bearish side, right? We're gonna mark this high for um, external on the bullish, and that's basically it. And I go ahead and copy and paste these on ES. So 15-minute time frame, I go on ES and I mark out the same lows and yeah, the same lows. So this is Asia right here. Asia, y'all can't see this, but what I mark out on London on Nasdaq, I mark it out on ES. If you're trading gold, for example, I'm sure that the correlation is with DXY. You could also find correlation with silver if you're trading gold. And when you have both assets printed, you could find SMTs. So it's very important to mark out on both assets, on both charts that you have open, mark out the same highs and lows. I'm sure that gold and DXY are inversed, but it's still the same in theory. So that we marked out Asia and we're going to mark out London. Those are our important draws on liquidity. All right. So the macro just started. We are here trading inside. Like this in itself is already a unicorn on the 5 minute, which entices me to trade it. Why is this a unicorn? Because this bullish we have this bullish PD array right here that got disrespected, this bullish order block with a breakaway gap right here. There's a breakaway gap. This is the unicorn. It shifts market structure without sweeping any of our kill zones lows. I'm gonna enter this short. Like this already in itself, just at the start of the macro, like this to me is already a market open type deal. So we could target Asia. I'm gonna look for a 2-to-1 right there. I am gonna do a market open right here. Place order, market, risk 250, 3 contracts. We're gonna save and journal it. So I'm gonna say this is a 5-star. I'm very confident in this trade. Um, and I'm gonna add the screenshot so we could journal. I'm gonna save it, and this is how a journal's looking at so far. And I'm just gonna let this play out. Like I said, if we get stopped, we get stopped. We're risking 250. If we lose, we move on to the next day or the next macro. It's not that deep. It does not define me as a trader. Oh, he fucked up there. He was wrong. He's a bro. Losses, you're gonna lose more than you're gonna win in trading, bro. Can you take that? Can you take that in your ego? If you can't, then you have some work to do off the charts. What do I recommend to put that work in? I recommend this book. Ego is the enemy. This is why we can't take losses because our ego doesn't allow it. So this is a 5 minute trade, and usually the 5 minutes trades are longer. We have a nice close here on the 5 minute, but usually the 5 minute holds are way longer. So I might even increase it to around 15 seconds right there to see a faster movement. If we get stopped out, we get stopped out. It was a good try. But we're getting some nice wicks. Wait, this is a little bit too fast. Let's do 10 seconds. I'm gonna pause right here. Let me look at the 1 minute. We've already swept these lows. I mean, we're already more than 50% to our stop loss. Uh, we did leave a gap right here. I mean, I'm gonna move to break even. This is already my sign to move to break even. Realistically, it should be above this bearish order block. But this right here is already like a risk-free trade, right? And we're already deep within the range. We're already deep with a one-to-one. Um, like this is already looking extremely good. But let's see. Price could be unpredictable, bro, and we could get fucked, right? It could go back to our entry and fuck us over, right? And right there, why isn't it stopping me out? Stop me out. What's going on? What's going on? This shit is bugging. But right there, look at that perfect unicorn, bro. Did y'all catch that or no? Wait, am I talking to myself? Is nobody here in the stream? Like this is some sauce, bro. Like I'm showing you the unicorn fucking works, bro. Like it's just crazy. Target Asia, you get better RR, but like this is like I said, free fucking sauce, bro. Like this is the reason why I moved to break even because this is an efficient unicorn. Look at how we get no drawdown. I mean, yeah, besides this, but once we deliver, it doesn't come back to our entry. So that's why I moved to break even because price should not come back to our entry and just deliver towards those kill zones. London, Asia. Look at how textbook it is. Look at how good it sweeps. That's that fucking unicorn, bro. So far we have 100% win rate. We have 2 trades taken. Our P&L is sitting at $900. The last trade, I think, because we closed, because of the bug, we closed like $100 more. But like still, bro, like $900. You're trading 10 accounts. You're trading 20 accounts. So times it times fucking 10 accounts, and that's a lot of money, bro, in 2 days trading. But this is the unicorn in theory and in practice and in the backtest field. All right. Do you want me to keep going or should I stop it right here? Or nah? Or what? What's the move? So right here, since we already take a win, we just go to the next day. Please go on. All right, all right, all right. Wow, look at that drop from the unicorn. From the unicorn right there, from the 5 minute beautiful unicorn. Look at that drop. Ooh wee. Look at that beautiful drop, bro. So, like I said, before, look, before this candle, what did I say price was gonna do? Come inverse or tap this daily, this weekly opening gap, and look at what price did. Trading inside of a bearish fair value gap, I was predicting and expecting price to displace lower. And what did price do? It displaces lower. Fair value gaps get respected, bro. So every time we're trading inside, for example, if this candle was not there, which was not there on um, Monday or Tuesday, we cut the top on Tuesday. We cut the top. We cut this displacement. So I could have easily, like I said, it depends on your strategy, on how you uh take the drawdown. But right here, I could have easily targeted the opening gap right here. Like fuck London, fuck Asia. I'm bearish. I want to see the opening gap
get tapped, and I mean it trades efficiently towards it within the macro. IFVG with what? Only IFVG. I mean, I don't really like IFVG for that exact reason because I feel like you find an IFVG everywhere, bro. I used to trade IFVGs, not strictly, but I used to trade them, and I would get confused a lot. So right now I use IFVG as a confluence, not as an entry. But yeah, that's that unicorn. Beautiful 5 minute unicorn we caught here. It was painfully obvious to me. In those painfully obvious setups, what could you do? Maybe you could risk more, right? Or maybe you could target bigger draws on liquidity. Let's test one more unicorn. All right, all right. One more unicorn. So same deal. Right here, we're already on Wednesday. We're delivering. We had the theory that the weekly candle was going to close bearish. On the daily, this could be our targets right here. We did inverse this weekly opening gap. We're not necessarily trading inside of an imbalance. We have inversed an imbalance. Uh, we do our daily bias based on imbalances. So in this case, uh, the daily is not really clear, but I'm gonna say it's bearish. All right. So I'm gonna do bear slash neutral because that's how I feel, right? Like it's a feeling at the end of the day because price is unpredictable, bro, and it could do whatever the fuck it wants, right? This could just be a very well rebalance, and it could push higher, right, towards all-time highs. I mean, it could always do that because price is weird, bro. All right, 4 hour. So same deal with the 4 hour, not really trading inside of any imbalance. We have tapped this bullish order block, but I'm not gonna count that towards my bias. Um, I'm neutral. It's not really trading inside of any imbalance, but if I would have to say, is probably I would want to see this 4 hour gap get tapped. So on the 4 hour, I'm neutral. On the 1 hour, we're trading inside of a bearish, which we are more aligned towards bears. We have swept this liquidity, however, which is something we should keep in mind. We failed to sweep these equal lows right here, which I'm interested in price to take. So on the 1 hour, we're bearish, and we continue with our top-down analysis. Now we go on the 15-minute. Wait, I lost this. There it is. On the 15-minute, let's see. Right here's a bit tricky when we have these situations when we're tapping a bullish PD array, but we're also tapping. Wait, I think we've disrespected this bearish PD array. Yep, we've inversed it. Just barely tapped this bearish. I mean, I would have to say here since we've inversed. Wait, it wasn't really a FVG right there. So we just literally tapped that. We tap. It's kind of nasty, right? Kind of choppy, neutral in the 15-minute. Not really confident to say it's more bearish than bullish or bullish than bearish. So 15-minute is more neutral. So since we already had a big delivery, we had two back-to-back days where we won. And we get this scenario because this is very, very fucking common when you get the distribution early in the week and Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is just consolidation. Sometimes you get look into the weekly profile, bros. Weekly profile. Right here on ICT index, I'm gonna link it again and look into it. Watch some videos on it because there's some deep, deep theory behind it. But what I was gonna say is sometimes you get that situation where you get the distribution early within the week and the rest of the week is just chop and usually want to de-risk or get off the charts. Um, Or sometimes you get the manipulation or consolidation at the start of the week, and then you distribute on Thursday or on Friday is where you distribute. So it depends, right? So like I said, we've already won 2 days back to back. I want to be more cautious. We're neutral. We're not really too sure of where price is gonna go. I'm still missing to do a 5 minute. Right here in the start of the macro, we have tapped just about this bullish PD array. We're bullish on the 5 minutes, so we're neutral really. We're not really looking for any direction within the trade. I'm not really too interested in trading this macro specifically, but we're still going to watch it. Once we've established our bias, which in this case is neutral, what is the next step? What do we have to do? Let me delete these. What do we have to do is we go on the 15 minute and you draw out your kill zones, right? So in this case, all the lows have been swept from the previous session, which is usually the lows and highs of the previous sessions have already been swept. Not really a good sign, not really what you want to see. There's nothing really here for me to mark out. Um, besides some this gap right here, so I would mark this high as my liquidity pool because we are inside of a higher time frame consolidation. Are we interested in trading chop? Not really, bro. People find it more efficient when we're in a ranging market. So right here, this is a ranging market when we're like respecting support and resistance to the tick, right? It respects the low and it respects the highs right here. So people like to long down here, people like to short up here. I'm more of a trending type trader where I like to trade these big movements. I usually catch like this. This is the 4 hour, by the way. This is why I'm marking out like small ranges. But I like to catch this, not this whole thing, but this, right? Obviously, this is a plus and a good sign that the strategy works, but those are like the market conditions are other things that you have to keep in mind at all times, right? And this is where the detachment and the patience comes into place. Do you have the patience to maybe I shouldn't trade this Wednesday, right? Maybe this Wednesday isn't really like the best market conditions. I already won Monday and Tuesday. Like we have to treat it as a real scenario. But like I said, we're gonna watch here. So we have this bullish key liquidity area that I'm interested in price to take within the day, within the New York session. So that for me inclines me to take a bullish unicorn. So right here at the start of the macro, we did tap this 5 minute bullish and we do have this bearish order block that I'm interesting to see price displace above. So let's go in 10 seconds since we are gonna watch the 5 minute right now is the only thing I'm interested in watching. I'm watching ES closely as well, so let's just play this out. Enough yap. So like I said, within this day, I would be more cautious. I would be de-risked. I wouldn't marry with a trade. I would be more careful and wait for a painfully obvious setup. If there's no painfully obvious setup, I'd rather just sideline and take my wins for the day and just chill. We do want to see a shift with a body off this high. We do have all these bearish PD arrays. We do have a support zone up here that's getting respected. We are ranging in the higher time frame, which is not ideal conditions. You could say this is a bearish unicorn. Am I interested in taking the bearish unicorn? Not really. Because why? We're just chopping right here. We're just ranging, right? That wouldn't be a high probability scenario, so I'm not going to trade it. But for example, in this case, thinking of IOVGs, if we inverse this gap right here, if we make a market structure shift up here, I'm interested in the trade. I'm more at the edge of my seat looking to click the button, right? But in shorts, we're ranging. We're not really inside of any higher time frame PD array. We do have to align with our higher time frame bias, which we're neutral. So, like I said, it all comes down to ambiguity and to criteria, to your own discretion within the trades. So we have inversed. I am more interested in taking longs. I do still want to see a 5 minute inverse with a gap. Let's see if we could get that. We are getting a nice shift, and that's what you want to see. What you say, you want to see it happen. And when it happens, that's when you gain that confidence that, oh shit, like this is what I predicted, and now I gotta do what I said I was gonna do if this happens. So this is already a market structure shift. We did have a market structure shift on both assets. So right here, I'm waiting. We already have a breaker block. I'm waiting to see a gap right here get placed. I'm waiting to see that gap. We already had our breaker block. We are in the macro time. What is the missing piece that we need? A gap. So I'm waiting. This could very well chop down and leave no gap. So we're off the trade, right? But I'm watching. Let me watch all the time frames. The 3 minute, we have a unicorn on the 3 minute. The 1 minute, I'm not too interested in trading, but I'm watching the 3 minute and 5 minute. Right? We have a shift on both assets. I want to see the unicorn play out. I'm watching both assets closely. So right here on the 3 minute, we do have a shift which I probably am gonna trade. Um, ideally, where in cases like this, let's see. So if we're gonna target this high, do we have wiggle room? Look, just about this low. It's not the best trade setup I've seen. Um, I do want to de-risk for the day. I'm not quite too confident in the daily bias in this example since we are ranging. However, we do have a unicorn aligned with the higher time frame, with the higher time frame drawn liquidity, which is the 4 hour fair value gap. Um, so these in these situations is where discretion comes into play. Um, if I do want to be de-risked, I probably don't want to risk too much on this trade. I am, however, going to trade it. So let's place the order. Enough yap. So I'm gonna risk instead of 250, I'm gonna risk 150. Let's do 150. Let's save it. We have our limit set. We have a beautiful unicorn. Let's journal it. The confidence. Let's see. There you go. The confidence level, not quite confidence. It's still a good unicorn. Let's say we're 70% because of the choppiness of the higher time frame. We're still gonna trade it. We're gonna add a screenshot because we want data, right? Because we are going to counter these type of trades in the live market. But let's see what happens. We get tapped there. We're in a de-risk trade. I do want to adjust my stop loss once we take this high. As you can see here, the 5 minute did not leave a gap, which is not the best sign in the world. We are de-risked. We entered on the unicorn. We have our stop loss in the protected low. Um, it's still a try, right? It's still an attempt, and it's still a shot I'm willing to take. So you have to risk appropriately, right? And right there, we got stopped. Let me pause it. I don't know why it's not stopping. All right. So ideally, our stop loss had to be in this low. I want to see if we sweep that low. We did. All right. I could sleep at night. But like I said, it was still a good attempt. We did get a market structure shift on both assets. We did have a higher time frame draw on liquidity. So this is a perfect example where we de-risk, and it gives me a signal and an idea to come over into the Google Sheets that I made. And a signal for me is that, oh shit, like ranging days or choppy days in the higher time frame like that are low probability conditions for my unicorn strategy. I know this through experience. I know this just by looking at the chart that I'm not really confident. So what's gonna happen? I'm gonna come here into the checklist. I'm gonna add. Let me add a couple lines, and I'm gonna add de-risk or wait. Let's do ranging days. De-risk or no trades. So now, like, we're building upon our strategy, right? We're starting to shape it and mold it to align ourselves with the higher probability conditions with the market. Do you all have any questions so far? Has this been helpful at all? Have I helped you at all in a way to look at the market or not? Or am I just yapping nonsense? Anybody have any questions, bro? Like anything, anything. Is there anybody alive in the chat? So I'm just gonna I'm continue. I mean, is there anybody here? No more people typing. That's all right. I'm gonna keep going. Obviously. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, all right, all right. Just making sure. I'm gonna keep going, bro. I mean, at the end, this is saved within the YouTube channel. I'm gonna finish this week and I'm gonna call it quits. It's Wednesday. We took two big wins Monday and Tuesday. Small loss on Wednesday. Let's continue for the week. I mean, I could stick around for the. Let's see. Let's stick around for the macros. Be here, bro. I'm doing my own backtesting too as I follow your backtesting too. Perfect, brother. I love to hear that. Yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna skip this day. Fuck this day. Let's go to the next session. Yup, yup. Trash day. Look at that ranging. Trash, just trash. And we do the same. Like we start a new day. What do you have to do? The same shit every single day. The same top-down analysis, right? On the daily, we're neutral. I'm not gonna type it out. No, I am gonna type it out. What am I saying? I like even because I am lazy, right? I am lazy of doing this every single day on the back test. I'm not really a fan of back testing, but it's so helpful, bro. Daily, neutral on the 4 hour. Again, higher time frame chop, not what you want to see. Like I said, look into the weekly profiles. We already had a distribution within the beginning of the week. So what do you expect for the rest of the week? Slower price action, more chop, uh, neutral, no real bias on the 4 hour. Not really what you want to see. On the 1 hour, same thing. I mean, I would rather just skip over to the next week, right? Do I want to participate in this price action? If I'm being realistic, not really. Um, Yeah, I'm not gonna trade this price action. I'm just not going to do it because I would not do it in real life. And why would I do it on the back test like just to get push content? Nah, like this higher time frame chop is the worst, bro. It is not what you want to see. So there's really nothing going on. I feel like the moves of the week are already happened. Not really too interested in participating or partaking into any of this bullshit. Look, and we just thank God we missed this because look at what happened. Look, we just chopped down back into the range. Like you want to see distribution. You want to catch these big movements, right? You want to catch these big movements. You don't want to catch this shit. You don't want to be a part of this. This is in the higher time frame, by the way. You could zoom in, and this is lower time frame shit, right? People get faked out by moves, but higher time frame is where it's at. So I'm going towards the next session. Friday, end of the week. We've already won for the week. I'm not gonna trade this week. So we're gonna trade one more day. All right, we're Monday. So just to be clear and just to say, obviously in hindsight, but look into the weekly profile. Look at Monday, bro. Monday was the clear manipulation. We had our gap right here coming Tuesday. Monday manipulates inside of a higher time frame PD array and just distributes placing lower lows. So our weekly bias was correct at the beginning of the week. We took two shorts and we took profits, we took wins, right? But that's just beautiful. Like you could see this weekly candle play out. Top wick, bottom wick right here. Top wick, body, and wick. Let's go on the weekly. And you could see it. Top wick and distributes lower. That's just beautiful. Like you love to see the algo play out, right? Because it confirms your delusions that you have in your brain. But oh well, I digress. So on the daily, what do we have here? Uh, so on the daily, we do unfortunately have to assume this bullish fair value gap is going to get respected. I say unfortunately, why? Because look at how many bearish PD arrays have been disrespected here. If this bullish FVG wasn't here, I would say I'm bearish. But since it is here, and since it already been respected once, I'm a think it's gonna get respected again. So on and we're due for a pullback. So I do have to say I'm bullish because I am going to follow the strat. So on the daily bias, we're bullish. On the 4 hour, deep within the range. Not really trading inside of any PD array. Recently inversed some PD arrays. We still don't sweep the major sell side liquidity. Mm, kind of neutral, more inclined bearish if I'm being real. 4 hour bear. Like I said, there's a lot of ambiguity and discretion when you don't have real clear PDRs, right? How do you establish your bias like that, right? When there's no real clear PDRs, like we're already deep within the range. Do you really want to short on a discount? Like those are the things you have to ask yourself. It's like, bro, not I don't really want to get caught overextended, right? So that plays a big part in your confidence and how you uh start the day or start the macro, but I digress. What I'm trying to say is discretion is very important. Building your own gut, the gut feeling that you have, like I want to trade this, like actually following it will take you to the next level. So right here, we're bearish on the Wharton hour, painfully obvious. I love this painfully obvious where it gives me the clear idea where the bias is going. We have inversed. I mean, yeah, we still don't sweep the slow. Bearish, neutral bearish on the 15 minutes. So I'm gonna say I'm bearish. Let's look at the 5 minute just to triple check here to start the macro. Um, yeah, we have inversed. We still don't sweep this low right here. I mean, I'm bearish. I'm bearish. So we're bearish for the macro. Not really too enticing of a price action. We do have London low down here. We do want to check. Oh, after we establish our daily bias, you have to uh, go into the 15 minute, mark out your kill zones. In this case, we're gonna mark out our lows since we're more inclined to take shorts, and we have to make sure we also mark them out on ES. London low. And now macro just started. We could go ahead and zoom into price. Do we have a unicorn right here starting the macro? We do, but nothing too. We're tapping right here, which we've already distributed from it. We have another one up here that had already been respected. Let's just. I'm not like I said. I'm. This is not something I'm too excited or too confident in trading. So when you have that gut feeling, is when you need to be more cautious, right? Because you have that gut feeling for a reason. And even if your trade plays out, right? Even if like it taps a beautiful unicorn, but you're still not confident and it plays out, that's a fucking win-win. You didn't lose any money and you built conviction towards your strategy. So don't get FOMO, bro. Don't be afraid of letting the trade go because the unicorn always fucking happens, bro. Always, always, always. Whenever we place a new hourly candle open and we have a big range candle like this one, we are most likely going to get a unicorn. That is how the algorithm operates. That is how the candles are formed. So don't be afraid to miss out on one fucking unicorn, bro. Because I've had people in my chat get mad at me for not taking a unicorn or for not taking trades, right? So obviously I'm not gonna get like influenced by them, right? But it's still that feeling that, bro, like chill, dog. Like there's more unicorns to come. It's not the last unicorn ever, right? And it's a good thing it plays out. It builds conviction. It puts truth in my mouth. It puts the truth that if you have good risk management and you only trade the unicorn, you can make hella money off it. But do you have the discipline to stick with it? That is the real question you should be asking yourself. Um. So yeah, we are more inclined bearish. I mean, it's nice that we're seeing manipulation higher. We want to see more. We do have this PD array right here. We are distributing higher. We're seeking uh, liquidity on the higher time frame. We do have bearish SMT on this highs because ES already took this high right here. And like usually NQ will follow what ES is doing. If there is bullish SMT with ES taking the high, NQ is most likely going to take the high as well. But if there's bearish SMT with NQ taking the high and ES doesn't take the high, I would be very, very bearish, right? The signals are on. Because ES is always the leading asset over NQ. So we are going to get a sweep of buy side. We are still trading inside of the macro. We still have SMT here at the highs, which NQ doesn't take. We are bearish for the macro, so we're more inclined to take shorts. So now we just wait for that alignment, right? Where we align the higher time frame, we align the unicorn, we align the price action, we align the draws on liquidity. So let's see what price wants to do. I'm watching both assets very, very closely. Ideally, I do want to see a shift just below this low for me to consider a trade. We are trading inside of the bullish. So this is the bullish order block 101, right? So if you're like a support and resistance type trader or an order block supply and demand trader, so right here would be your entry towards longs, right? Some people wait for candle close with the wick. Some people will just wait for the tap. So this is the theory behind order blocks. But I trade the inverse of the order block. But there's a clear order block right here. And this is a fresh tap. So this makes it a high probability trade for longs. And we did get a close with the wick. Um, like right here, since we are pushing bullish and since price failed to take this higher time frame liquidity, I will be more inclined to seek price going higher, right? This is just for confluence. This is just for conviction. I'm not entering a trade based off this. I'm not going to look for a long here. It's just things to keep in mind. But right here, you can see a beautiful distribution respecting bullish PD array. People already took profits there for sure. But I'm more interested to see in the failure of this order block. And all this happens within the macro. Manipulates, taps into the PD array, and we distribute beautiful towards the sell side. You get a nice 4-1 on the tap right there. And you just love to see it play out, right? Like it just goes to show the algo works. It's beautiful. So when you see a failure of inversing and you're waiting for this to get inversed, but if we tap it again, I'll be more inclined to see it reverse. We are leaving some strong wicks. We are still in the macro time. We do have a bullish order block right here. Let's see what happens. We have already swept the buy side liquidity. We are getting a shift on both assets. Um, waiting for this candle close. Let's see. Not the best. Um, still within the macro. We are getting a 3-minute gap, but we still have time for it to close. We still have to wait. Another tap into that order block. That's a sign of weakness. Even if it respects it again, I expect this order block to get swept today. Because if we are really like in a bullish trend, price doesn't tend to come back to these bullish PD arrays. It sets a new PD array on the breaker and it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. It doesn't come back. If it comes back, the signals are on. I'm interested to see an inverse. Uh, let's see. So right here in this case is the macro is over. Uh, we did get a gap right here. It's a big gap, but we did get a gap on the 3-minute. We do have a unicorn on the 3-minute. We do have some bearish PD arrays. I'm gonna wait for the next 5-minute candle to see if it taps uh within the range. I'm gonna give myself one more candle to see if I could catch the top of the 15-minute candle because I'm sure we're gonna distribute towards at least these lows, ideally London low. Price is unpredictable. It could do whatever the fuck it wants to do, but I am going to give myself one more candle, one more 5-minute candle for me to consider a short. So we're waiting for a tap on this bigger box right here. So right there, I mean, it could be a wide trade. We could try it because realistically, our stop loss has to be there, and we don't have the best take profit. So I'm going to have to chop this up a little bit, which is not ideal at the end, but I am going to give this a stab. I'm gonna give it an attempt. I'm gonna do a market open since we were waiting gracefully. Uh, I'm probably going to give myself this high as the limit, which is, like I said, not ideal. When you get those ideal situations, because I do want to see perhaps this low get taken. So we're gonna do something like this. Aligned with the bias, a little bit off the macro. I mean, not really a lot of confidence in that. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna de-risk, right? It's still a valid unicorn. It's still a unicorn within the macro. It made the gap, the breakaway gap within the macro. We're still bearish. We inversed higher time for bullish Peter race. Like it's still good, right? But there's some things that makes us not confident in the trade. I'm a de-risk, right? So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do 150 risk. Uh, and we're gonna journal this. We had a sweep of the buy side. We had an inverse. We have a unicorn. We have a tap. This is what our calendar looks like so far. It's not so bad. So this is the last trade I'm gonna do on the stream, and let's see how it plays out. Let me go ahead and switch this. We are de-risked. Realistically, our stop loss has to be up here. We're giving ourselves a try within this big gap on the 3 minute. We do want to see a distribution towards sell side liquidity here. Uh, we adjust our stop loss once we take the low. We've taken the low, so we de-risk some more towards this high. So we're only risking 100 to make 300. That's already a 3-to-1, which is beautiful and perfect. We have swept these lows right here. Is it 50% of the whole move of the range? It is. So right here, we already have to move to break even. So this is already a risk-free trade. We de-risk heavily. We weren't really too confident in the trade. It was just off the macro by a little bit. Like this is already a perfect scenario situation where you want to be. A lot of people like to take partials here. I don't take partials. I'm not a fan of partials. Or maybe down here take partials. Um, price could continue bullish, but like I said, I am more inclined to see price continue delivering. If it doesn't deliver towards the sell side, that's all right. But we're obviously gonna let it run because this is, and look right there, we got just about edged, but we do want to see price take. Let me pause right here. Let me pause. All right, so these are the scenarios where I'm talking about where I would probably look to manual exit, bro. Like by for 15 bucks, I'm not gonna risk this shit, right? Like for fucking 15 bucks, like probably within this low, I would look to manual exit. I'm still gonna let it play out. We're probably gonna inverse all the way to the top. But then again, it doesn't matter. This is like the backtest scenario. I'm gonna take this as a win, regardless if we get stopped out or break even or not. I'm gonna take this as a win because in real life market conditions, I would have probably already taken my profits there. We did get inversed, but like I said, let's see. Let's watch this play out. Yeah, we get inversed all the way. That's why we moved to break even. But like I said, regardless of this outcome in this situation, bro, Look at the unicorn. Look at the unicorn, bro. Perfect tap into the unicorn, perfect distribution. That's why people would take partials. Probably should have targeted the slow. Um, like I don't know what I should have done differently here. Maybe target this order block right here, the 50% of the order block, which is just about right here. Um, it still would have given me a decent trade. Like I said, I would have most likely manual closed because I'm not gonna let this happen, right? When we're already like more than 90% of delivering, I have my mouse on the close button. I'm gonna take this as a win, like I said, but it's still all this is conviction, bro, towards the unicorn working and playing out. I'm excited. I mean, it looks good. It looks like I have good, deep understanding about the unicorn. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm looking for. It's just applying it to the live markets. Um, I'm so blessed that I have the patience to wait for the setups. Like I feel like I have everything ready and set. I'm excited and I'm looking forward to making a lot of money in 2026. Do you all have any questions, bro? I'm gonna end the stream here. Do you all have questions? Did the trade play out? It did play out. I mean, it didn't deliver towards the sell side. We did have. Let me see. Not even ES swept it. So realistically, not technically. Technically, the trade did not play out because we were targeting at least a sweep of the candle's body right here. But like you could see, like we were off here by a couple ticks, which, like I said, in the real market condition, when I see this type of close, like I'm probably just gonna close it there, right? I'm not gonna let it come back all the way here. Besides, our stop loss had to be in this gap. So that's another thing I want to add on the here is trailing stop loss towards last gap. So what I mean by that, so first we moved our stop loss to break even. It reached more than 50%, which is fine. We left the gap right here. So my stop loss is going to be above this high. But then we distribute, leaving another gap right here, meaning that my stop loss had to be in this body. So this right here would have given us a one, just about more than a 1-to-1 win on the trade, which I'm completely fine with. But our stop loss had to be here at the high. Because an efficient unicorns doesn't reverse like this. It delivers towards the sell side liquidity or at least the body. I mean, in this case, you can't even be mad because it retraced into the bullish order block, tapping it and distributing perfectly, right? Which is still valid. I like having the TP just a couple ticks away from the target for this case. If ES doesn't take HCGs for that trade, it's manual TP. Yeah, there. Like I said, there's a lot of discretion and ambiguity, right? We love to be mechanical, but it's hard to be mechanical when markets are always changing and they're unpredictable. So you can't be 100% mechanical. You do have to have some ambiguity and discretion within your trade. So, like I said, real life market conditions, this wouldn't happen, right? It has happened to me. But this is me backtesting and me saying like what I would do in the real case scenarios. This is perfect practice. Uh I would have exited, right? Had any signs of reversal, or maybe once we broke this high, I did not want to see like a break this high. I just want to see like a continuation. This is good practice. What was your biggest takeaway from today's backtest session? I mean, my biggest takeaway, I'm always impressed with the unicorn, bro. Like I'm impressed with the fact that this works. And my biggest takeaway is like All we have to do to make money within the markets is be patient and wait for your setup. Align with the higher time frame bias and wait for your entry. Will you take more trades? Nah, I'm done here. I mean, we've been live for, let's see, for 2 hours now. We only did a week, but I did say I want to take it slow. I'm gonna backtest again tomorrow. Put in some more hours tomorrow. Maybe do 2 weeks tomorrow. Finish January. Maybe backtest next week as well. I could backtest every day next week probably, which is what I'm going to do. Um, so like just like I already know the unicorn works, right? I know within my heart that if I just wait for it, but like I want to do this for you all as well and for myself. Yes, I would definitely post the results, but yeah, I mean, GG's brothers. Thank you for tuning in. I fucking love y'all. Thank you for sticking by. If y'all found value any way, shape, or form on the stream, I would appreciate if y'all post some type of testimonial on the Discord, like thanks for the stream or something, like just to get more people in here. I did send the Discord link. I'm gonna send it again so you could join up the server. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube, everything, bro. I appreciate the support. I'm glad this helped, but we'll continue it off tomorrow. All right. I love y'all. Thank you both for sticking around. GG's.